need you to go, as you go back home, please think every day. Each day you think about how the world will be different because you are alive that day. And you walked from home to here and what your responsibility is to the world as a human being. So it could be checking on people, it could be smiling, it could be just helping someone. We're not asking for much as human beings. I'm not very religious as a person, but I am very spiritual, and I believe in the goodness of humanity. So I invest heavily in just that practice with the satisfaction it gives me, but it also what it can create in the world. So besides your other beliefs, I also would love to invite you to think about, the pastor doesn't need to tell you to be a good person, right? No. You just need to be a good human being. Next. So for these ones, I need you to take your phone. And I need you to go in the notes section. Not picture. Notes section. I need you to go back. For those who are in the fellowship, I hope you remember that vision that you created. Hi, Ijo. But I want you to just go back and ask yourself, what is your why in life and in journalism? Kenya, have we been hacked? Eh? That's another slide. Okay. And so El Shaddai rating. Yeah, I need you to write. Think about your why in media and communication that keeps you. And then I'm also aware that as you have moved throughout the years, 2 years, 3 years down the road, your passions, your interests have also evolved and changed. So how did that evolve? Man, I hope you don't put other things. Anything else that you see is not my disclaimer. So over time, passions change, you know. So how has that evolved? Can you think through, are there new ideas into it? Have you had any new discoveries around why you do this work? And the last piece is, how can you keep your why at the forefront of your work to stay motivated? So I receive a lot of alums who say, man, I don't know why I'm doing this, right? And I think it was all good, but now I'm not there anymore. And the question is, when your why evolves, you need to revisit and be able to say, okay, where are the changes and how do I stay even motivated to continue showing up, working on things that I'm passionate about? So again, like I said, it's important to provide space to reset, because I know most of us reflect on the go. Like when you're moving, you're reflecting. But few of us actually create time to just say, how many of you know Anthea here? Anthea? Okay. So Anthea is one of those like very reflective people, taking notes, journaling, and even just speaking through it with other people. So it's really important because I have seen why I show up for this work every day, and it keeps me happy, it keeps me satisfied. Okay, you're not going to share with anyone, please rate for yourself. Next. So, we are going to end up talking about leadership in journalism, but before that, leadership for me is a responsibility that you take on. For you, as a human being, you have a responsibility to the world, but as a journalist, you also have. So think again, and it might not be clear, but what's your responsibility to the world as a journalist, and what change do you want to see through your stories? Again, go back to your why, and then think about the change that you want to create. Now, we have different people here who might be communications. I'm doing my business. Hi, Chizito. I'm doing my business. Still, there's change that you want to see in the world because of the work that you do, right? So are you intentional about that, to put it down, or it's as long as the money comes, I'm fine? That's also okay. There's nothing wrong against money. Okay. Next. So, every time I ask journalists, do you think your leaders, I get different responses. Now let me ask again. How many of you, by just putting up your hand, believe 100% that you are, as a journalist, you are a leader? Got a handful. The others who didn't put, does that mean you say you're not a leader as a journalist? Or you have a debate? Feel free. If you put up your hand, we can give you a mic. How does leadership show up in your work? Yes. Please give Philip.
Good morning, everyone. I believe that as journalists, we hold the power to inform, inspire, and educate the masses out there. So if you have that power to inform, inspire, and educate people out there, you're a leader, because it's the role of a leader to inspire people, educate them, and show them what's happening. So you have a power to sieve out the information that you're supposed to give out to the community out there, and that's where self-censorship comes in. You look at things like, if I release this story, what is going to happen? And if it happens, how is it going to influence the community? Is it in a bad way or in a positive way? And if it's in a positive way and you release it and there is a difference, then there the leadership kicks in.
Thank you. Clap for Philip, everyone. Can I hear from someone else? Someone who is like, me, leadership, Eh? Less. Please, please. Yes, yes. Okay, okay.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Elijah. I believe that, for example, I want to use Slimani's story. I believe that leaders are influencers or change agents. For example, his story, it can attract politicians or government to come and actually invest in it or develop that society or that community. So I agree that leaders can actually be part or in journalism.
Thank
They
you.
are influencers and change agents. Thank you.
Influencers, change agents. All right, thank you. So the reason why for me leadership is really important, and for you to know that just by holding a pen and a piece of paper and taking a story, you are leading the community in different ways is really important. And that has to be inherent from whether you're going to do a podcast, right? Whether you're a radio presenter on a morning show every day, whether you're just going to report an event or a conference, you have a responsibility on how people are going to be influenced by your work. Now, it comes back to the intention. If we are not very intentional about how we show up in journalism, then the stories are just like 5 W's and H, I'm out of it, right? No context, no background that provide education to the people that consume. So I say it's a responsibility, and I need you, or I even beg of you, to just take that responsibility and know that you are not only responsible for the stories you tell, but you're also responsible for how the community is going to be impacted. Again, no pressure. We've been talking about integrity at the sports gala. We had a lot of people protesting. But, you know, facts and truth depends how you see those two things, but following the ethical standards of journalism and also knowing that your stories are going to influence people. Especially when it comes to critical thinking. So I hope, again, from this day that you know and believe that you are a leader of today, of our times, right? And that whether you're just hosting a conversation on the space, or it's a podcast, or it's a story you're writing, even if it's just a blog, there is, and now, sometimes we forget people like those guys on camera, and we think for them they don't. Those are the real narrative creators, right? They will give you the shots that matter. They will give you, and in all those aspects, from like the time you script the story to the end of production, leadership is key. And thoughtfulness on how we represent people is also very key. So Moses can decide to give us only images of men over there, right? Or Moses can decide to diversify the different shots and make sure that each different person in this convention is represented in the different shots. And for me, that's leadership, right? So the thoughtfulness from the beginning of a cameraman to say, who do we have here? Who are they? Where are they from? Who are we representing? How does each person who is in this space get to be represented in the final output of the story? And if you're not thinking about it, that's when you go back to the studio and they say, hey, it's only men. And you're like, the women, they were not saying anything, right? Next, Bax. Also think, again, how is the world better because of your story? And how are people thinking and making the best life decisions because of your work, right? Think critically how people, can you support people to make better decisions in life? Can you support young women to make better decisions in life? Can you support young men to make better decisions in life? As a journalist, can you provide that critical information that help people to know which candidates they should vote for. And why it's important. Next. So, I'm going to switch now to invite some people here. How many people were in the training? Put your hand up. Okay, perfect. So while in the training, we talked about how do we keep this community together. And one idea is the community of practice. This community of practice, next, basically we have different interests, we have different passions. So there are people who are in the podcasting space, there are communications people, there are people who just want to chill, there are people who want to run, there are people who want to do. So communities of practice just bring people together who share the same interests, to learn from each other, to exchange knowledge, innovate together, support and mentor each other. And in our case, really, it's hard to keep all of you together, but it might be more practical to create communities of practice that help us to tap into the different professions. So for people who are in the radio space, you can have a community of practice for radio presenters or radio journalists. For people who are in the writing space, you can have a community of practice for writers, as well as other. Now, what we did, we asked the team that was in the training to come up with different groups. Now, these groups don't have to be professional. They can be just a group that meets to eat food together. They just meet to run and stay fit. And they can be 3 people or they can be 100 people. And you can belong to any of those groups. Are we together? Yeah? Now, next. So I asked some of the alums to volunteer to form a group. Some groups have been formed. But if you're here and you say, I also want to form a group, perfect, that would be fine. But what I'm going to do now, without even taking a lot of time, I'm going to invite those that pitched something to come and share. And then, those who feel aligning to such a community of practice, you can sign up with them. And the leadership is within that group. You can decide when to meet, how often. It doesn't have to be quite often. You can always agree on the flexibility. So I have a small list here. So I have one group called Meet and Rant. There is Tracy, Ronette, and El Shaddai. Their group is about wellness, do not disturb, and fitness club. So, who is representing? Okay, Tracy, do you want to talk about that community of practice? So, if you are someone who is interested in, listen.
Thank you so much. So, Meet and Rant, or / what we would love to call ourselves as D&D, is do not disturb. As journalists, we overly interact, overly engage. And what that does is that you have no time to reflect or step back and meditate and breathe and just stay away from gadgets, stay away from social media, to just have a moment for yourself. So what D&D is going to be is a moment for all of us to just meet outside of our work and just do the following. Have a great time, relax, meditate, have physical fitness activities, have something nice to eat, and rant. Rant could be, I am going through the worst at my, or I am going through it, guys, and it's a no judgment area, it's a free space. We will meet, we'll discuss, we'll have activities, but overly things like meditating. El Shaddai is good with fitness. rant, and then go. Usually
All right.
these things will not be there, these
Okay.
ones.
So if you are interested in participating in such a group where you can eat good food and rant together, please sign up with Tracy. Ishak is already on board, so you need these spaces intentionally to just do. There is one other club, which is the investment club, club for early everyone. You have to be
Good morning.
morning.
You know what is happening with our industry. This happened after a friend of mine that worked with radio for over 20 years, in his 50s, had to get on the plane to go to the US to make some money to feed his
You
family.
mean Cheyo?
Yeah, chair. But at the same time, whatever Mr. Mpindi has been presenting as per the media industry directly affects our pockets. So the investment and media and investment club is focusing at something beyond the cash rounds. It is aiming at long-term investment and financial literacy for journalists. So we can have a discussion beyond this, but
Yep.
I'm talking about planning for the future and living a better life even after you've left media houses. Thank you.
Okay. It's all about financial wellness. So please talk to Ali if you want to join that club or group. There was mobile storytellers, so people who love to tell stories using phones. Kasoma, Bill Gates. Hard guy, eh? Hey.
Hello, good morning. I am Kevin Kasoma. I run or I team lead at some innovation that we're building up that we co-founded with some other fellows when we were in the 2023 cohort. It's called Shifted Perspectives. And majorly what we're doing is focusing on the strength of mobile storytelling to tell different stories, but with more of like a simplistic, humorous kind of approach to things, but with some special attention to climate change. So now, the community that we look at building is more of like mobile storytellers. I didn't really think through specifying to mobile journalism because I consume mobile films, like people, who shoot films using their mobile phones. And one of the major reasons why I want to create like such a community is, one, to appreciate the art, mobile storytelling, and we feel like it would be a very good space to encourage each other, to feedback each other, and just to explore other things, because it doesn't just stop with mobile storytelling. Yeah.
So if you want to join the mobile storytellers community of practice, please join Kasoma. Those who are in communications, thank you. Communications, Helen, a lot of you transition or work in the comm space. So we have very many people in this community who are doing communications as a...
Hello, good morning. My name is Helen Kawahukia. So for me, the group is mostly to ease our transition from journalism. The way journalism is going, for the most of us, if you notice, our next step, we're either innovating something or entering comms. Now, as an innovator, you cannot afford to employ more than 5 people. So you're the comms, you're the programs, you are everything. But half of the time, you don't know what you're doing. So you are doing a lot of consultation. So for us, the group is to share skills, learn. So for instance, no attacking, like for example, Maganda is very quite a lot of things. If she's part of that group, she's able to skill share with all of us so that by the time I choose to be like, I'm done with journalism, I'm done with camera and reporting, and I want comms, when they ask me for a CV, and one of the KPIs is the ability to do some of these communication things, I'm not engaged, because 3/4 of the time, media and communications, the smallest component is the one that goes to media. And half of the time it's strategies and quite a lot of things that we don't understand, copywriting, SEO writing. And if I did a small thing here, most of us don't know how to do these things. So for me, the group is to skill share.
Okay, so if you want to be in the communications community of practice, please sign up with Helen. Yes, Book Writers Club. Those who want to write books, we have Noah Omoya. Are you here? Clap for Noah, everyone. He's slaying that flag. Yeah, flag bearer.
Morning, afternoon. Good afternoon.
It's okay, just continue.
Okay, thank you. My name is Noah Omuya. I am a journalist, and lately I became a book writer and an author. In 2019, I participated in the East African British Council Masterclass in Writing, organized by the African Writers Trust. And I found out that most of the people who participated were so elder. You know, like I was the youngest in the class. And then I said, what about if we also did this as young people? So ever since then, I've been having that thought. And last year, in 2022, I started writing a book. And in March last year, I published a small copy. I call it The Wrath of a Tree. It's an African narrative of climate change. I think I came with about 10 copies, which I'll ask MCI to support me by buying those 10 copies and put in our library here for us to read. Much. Yeah. So
how much is a book?
20,000.
20,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please buy the book, you people.
So here, I am saying most of the stories we publish as journalists, the articles we read, people go back. Yeah, people go back to revisit them only when there's need. But if you read something in a book, it stays in your mind forever. So what if now some of the stories that we would like to tell in article forms, in news forms, we can put them in book forms. And maybe in the next convention, we'll have a publication to present.
All right.
Young writers.
So if you have ever desired to add author on your bio, please talk to Omuya, and you can... then there's the native languages community of practice. Bella Tweed, a clap for Bella, everyone. Hey. That's the new clap.
Thank you.
Yes.
So our community of practice is people who would like to preserve their indigenous languages. That could be non-European languages. If you speak any African language, then you're welcome to join the group. Reason being, the why, is because growing up, I grew up from a different part of the family, and most times we'd use English and other languages and never Rutoro. So by the time I started growing up with my actual family, it was very difficult to learn my language and discover, yourself again. So it's very important that we keep these languages alive and keep them for the next generation, for our children. So devices like Meta AI or these other AI tools that are coming up that do not know how to use our languages and translate them, it would be easier for us to do that if we have them preserved. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So if you want to, participate in preserving our heritages of languages, please sign up. There's one on cooking together. Huh?
Precious,
Precious,
you've been tasked to come and present.
Yes, those people who want to convene and cook together. Hey. This is not a group for anyone who can't cook? If you want to learn, okay.
Yes, it's a very important fact. If you can't cook, don't come and eat our food. So, one of the main objectives of this group is to encourage learning how to cook different dishes and then maybe monetize our cooking. For example, we can bake and then sell the products, or we can come up with a cookbook out of the different things we can cook. So we can sell that to you guys. Then also the other thing about cooking and eating, but still figuring out the name, is that we're able to come together, we cook, talk, and eat our food. So you're welcome.
So if you want free food, sign up with Precious. There is a group called Knowing God.
Elijah.
If you want to join a group where you want to know more about God, the Bible, everything, the Quran as well.
Good afternoon. So this is called Knowing God. I believe that a family that prays together stays together. So let's come on board. No one is the best at this, but we can learn from one another and pray from one another. But also we can sometimes meet probably and go to a certain place, probably prayer mountain. We meet, talk about certain things, pray together, laugh. And then like that. The fact is some people go through a lot of things, and cooking and all that may not solve this. But if we meet, worship, and then praise. All right, thank you.
Hope you are not creating Pentagon. Is there a group that I have forgotten? Hey, Uhuru ladies, yes. Where are you, Faima?
Faima. Feli. Letitia, are you part of the group? Okay, Feli is going to explain that.
Clap for Feli, everybody.
Good afternoon. So, Uhuru Ladies, it's a group of ladies who put money together, save part of it, and then use the other bit for, yes, spend the other bit for parties. We gift, by the way. We receive gifts every month. Yeah, so that's Uhuru Ladies. The men are not allowed.
Men, don't ask why. Start your own. Okay, anyways, listen. Now, you are allowed to, Now, you're allowed to join more than one group. It comes back to your time, right? So you can be in the meet and rant group. You can also be in the investment club. Does that make sense? It's fine. It comes back to how your schedule is. Now, this is where leadership and responsibility comes in. These communities of practice are driven by you. I'm not coming there. So the leaders of this are going to convene, and you'll keep recruiting other people. So the community is very big. So you need some artwork done. Join, people can join. Also depends how many people you want. You might just say, okay, our group maybe we'll just limit at 10 and that's it. Are we together? All right, yes? Question? Hey? There is a group for PR and events influencers. Please, my apologies, Julius. Clap for Julius, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. I believe each one of us has a social media handle, either LinkedIn or Twitter, formerly X, or Instagram, or Snapchat, anything that you use to post what you want the world to know about you. So we shall be having a PR and events, in brackets, influencers, and we shall be paying you to do the work. it will not be free. The most important about what we will be doing, we shall teach you what to do if you do not know. We shall be doing democracy, elections, and governance. If government or a bus has gotten an event here and they need influencers in governance or democracy, a bus will not tell Silas to look for Mama Kampala, Simanya, what, to come and influence. They will call us, those who are interested and are professional into what they want to do. I don't think Silas is attacked, but it's the truth. So we shall be influencing what is right for that very jig. Are we together? Yeah. If you do not know about events, we shall teach you inception of the events, execution, and post-mortem of events. Most people just know that if they invite you for an event or you're going to organize an event, bring the tables, chairs, PA system, lighting, and you're done. There is planning for an event. There is execution. Then there is post-mortem. How did we perform? And then you give a comprehensive report. For PR, that's what I eat of late because I work with Victoria University as a PRO and a lecturer as well in the same docket. So we shall be doing what we know best and earning from it. We shall be giving commission to whoever brings up an event to the PR club, an events club, at 20%. Our entry fee...
I am coming.
Our entry fee into our club is 100,000. You will be receiving a uniform and an ID. It's not an NGO, it's a money-making club.
Thank you very much. Hey. So, if you want to join the PR and Events Influencers Club, Community of Practice, talk to Julius. Now, my good people, I really want you to... I asked someone recently, which I think I also read somewhere, this thing, where they said, if we asked you right now and said, do you have 5 friends that you can call to fix a problem for you? Do you have 5 here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If you think about around you, like, do you have those 5 that you say, those 5 guys, if I call, fixed, right? A lot of people, or even all of us, it will be a struggle to say, I have those 5. Now, for me, it comes back to investment in communities, where we want those relationships to come from. Communities of practice are those spaces that a lot of us use in other parts of our lives where we want to develop in like international relations, diplomacy, media, education, entrepreneurship. But you have to be intentional. Once you sign up, please, 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 don't be the... And also, when you reach a point where you say, okay, I'm not active anymore, also communicate very well, so that people know that they shouldn't rely on you, right? So, you have seen the leaders, eh? Please stand up for one last time so that those who haven't. Investment, club for investment, book club, native languages, mobile storytellers, Uhuru ladies, women who want to save money and eat it alone. Go to, and those wellness and welfare. Now, is there any new person who says, me, I also have my club, my group? Yes? We'll allow just a few people if they...
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is David Oboy.
Hi, David.
Hello. Now, with the introduction of EV, or with EV taking over the market, the automobile market, electric vehicles, not so many may welcome it, some may tend to fight it. And I strongly believe it depends on how the information is passed on to the public. So,
engineering simple for the public, please. Is another one? Yes?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Martin Mogambi, and it would be an injustice not to create one like this from the best experience I've ever had in my life, and that is watching live sport. You've seen it on TV. I swear to God it is different when you're there. You know I'm a sports journalist, but it is not for sports journalists. You want to watch live sport, you want to see Priscilla as an umpire at Lugogo, you want to enjoy rugby, you want to enjoy soccer, cricket, please join us. Live sport.
Live sport. Uh-huh. Live sport people. Where are you? Cloud? Eh? Hey. Now, Banang, if you are a leader of any community group, make sure that you start your campaign. You go to people and sign up people. Cloud.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Cloud. So, our club is for podcasters. Not people who create podcasts only, but people who consume podcasts. So, our team lead is Mike Ainomgisha. And I'll be the spokesperson. And our chairlady has left. Her name is Presh. And before you join us, please do endeavor to visit their podcast. You will not regret and you'll be motivated to join us. Thank you.
So, podcasters, club, group over there. Mwebaz.
Mine is beneficial to everyone, as we are all journalists, but at one point you will get up a business and you would like to pitch your idea. Ours is a pitch club. We meet once every 2 weeks online. Everyone is supposed to pitch for 3 minutes. We get feedback. We work on working on your idea to make it better. And then we can win all together as a community.
Good. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, I will charge. Yes? There's another one?
Yeah.
No.
There's another one. Just the last one for me. I think I'll give this to someone, but it's an idea. I've interacted with so many of us that are founders, CEOs, COOs, leads, and I think we need a support group for media founders. There are struggles in teams, there are struggles personally that affect you as a leader or your delivery. So I think I'll give someone. I think you want to lead on that one.
No.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk and find out how best to support media founders.
I have enough stress.
I think we'll need one for founders. For
yes.
Media founders.
Thank you very much. Now, those communities of practice will really need your investment. And you can do anything within those spaces. You can innovate within the space, but you can keep together as family. So please, once you join any of the groups, make sure that you are fully and actively participating. That the last thing that I will say about this, why it's important, these communities of practice, why they're important is because, like I said at the beginning, we can't keep this alumni community together. It's going to all come back to you to keep this community together. And these smaller units would help you to learn better and skill share and invest together. And like I said, you can belong to any of the groups. The last thing, which I think the executive committee will also talk about later, we are, in terms of sustainability, we're still struggling to sustain the alumni community because it's growing, it's big, but it's also very expensive. So we need to think business. And we have numbers. We don't just have basic numbers. We have classic numbers. We don't have just classic numbers. We have people with status. And as we also grow in terms of time and years, you are going to be in very high positions of power in this country and in this world. So, what is it, one thing that you can say could be done through this community that could lead us into. So one idea that we suggested from the sports gala, which we're still, please, if you are coming from any media house, don't steal this idea and go and implement it there. Okay, I will not say it now because I think it's shock. No, but we really want to develop our sports gala to make it more a professional media sports event that attracts different players in the industry to participate. And it can be that one event that brings resources for the executive committee to lead on the different activities. So that's one thing that the executive committee has to deal with and think about for the sustainability of the alumni community. Finally, please, showing up is really key for this community. And for me, it shouldn't always be about, you have never invited me. I don't invite you home. Thank you. Where's the host?
Another round of applause for the CEO. All right. So there was a meme going around. It's not a meme. I think it's a TikTok video that said Mark Zuckerberg and his friends formed something. Bill Gates and his friends, probably and the wife, started something. Yes? Okay. You don't have a garage, but you have a friend. Okay, and you have hostel. And you have university. So someone asked, what has it benefited you? I mean, you and your friends, what have you started? What have you created? We know what happens in the meme. It's like a few minutes later, yeah? So I don't want to do a few minutes later of the MCI Alumni Convention. It should be like 5 years later, and it's a bad CEOs, founders, podcasters, who wants to be the next cover for Forbes Africa, Cloud. Cloud is the next face for Forbes Africa. Powerful. I hope you're doing amazing. Huge questions have been asked. What is my why? Why? Is the world better because Trace is in it? Is the world better because Noah is in it? So as we ponder, as we attend the convention, let's reflect on the why. Why journalism? Why are you in the media? Why are you doing comms? But why me? Why you? Why are we here? Thank you so much for those remarks. I wanted to, right about now, ask that we move closer. We're going to go for a panel, but for that to happen, it's going to take a fishbowl format. So I would love that the people on the second row fill the ones at the back. Let's do that pretty quick as I invite a man that we all know, and I'm really, as we do that, please, let's quickly do that. Get closer. It's going to be a very intimate conversation, so please come closer. We'll need all our insights, our perspectives, and experiences as we share in this experience. Yes, please fill up. Let's do this quickly. The guys at the back, we really want to get into this conversation, and of course, we're going to share what our thoughts are. To lead this conversation, it gives me a huge honor to invite a practicing journalist, show host, news reporter, and fact checker with the Bank Media Initiative. He holds a bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communication. He's also a co-founder and head of training at the Bank Media Initiatives, Uganda's fact-checking organizations. He's very passionate about disseminating factual information, which is a great motivation as he builds his career in multimedia journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Edgar Matthew Karhanga, who is going to be our moderator for our panel session. No, a bigger one. The man has worked his way here. Yes.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. How are we doing today? Great. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. I won't add anything to that. I'm honored and profoundly, really humbled to be able to moderate such a discussion in front of great people such as yourself. It's not very easy to stand in front of greatness, so it really humbles me, and it's really something that I appreciate so much. I'm not going to waste any time because our time is fast spent. We're going to use a few minutes, and mainly we're just going to be finding out ways. How can we collaborate together? How can we build a community together? From your own perspectives, what things do you think we can do that can help in improving our community and making it stronger, our bond stronger? Because, you know, the more, the merrier, and you can walk far when you're alone. You can walk fast when you're alone, but you can't go so far. So it's a community together, and we need to move together. Allow me welcome Olivia Komgisha. She is the president of the MCI alumni community, a former NTV news reporter, but also now in the communications for Reproductive Health Uganda. Our next panelist is Hannah Arinaitwe. She is a jack of all trades, but allow me just to speak a few. She works with UBC TV and also Power FM. She has a new innovation called Art for Change. So, Hannah Arinaitwe, ladies and gentlemen. So we also have Nabuguzi Chiwanuka. She is a lawyer and a podcaster as well. She is going to be sharing with us today. We have a lot of innovators and different stakeholders here. We also have Agatha Christina Kello. She is also a content catalyst and a founder for Popcorn Thoughts podcast, one of those podcasts that are rocking town today. I think she'll be joining us as we continue the discussion. We also have Helen Kabahukia, a journalist from Solutions Now Africa. Thank you so much. Then lastly, but definitely not least, is Julius Buchana. He is the PRO for Victoria University and also a former news reporter at NBS TV. Also, Mr. Omuya No. He is the founder at Aicha. You're welcome, gentlemen. Okay, let's give Noah another round of applause. That gentleman is very important. Guys, thank you so much for making it right here. I don't know, I think I'm going to stand here so that we have a conversation with me. I'm going to start with you, Ms. President, because of your position. We need a microphone. Anybody with another microphone that you can bring here? So we're going to start with Olivia Komgisha because you are the president. And I want to just start by hearing why you think this is actually important, and from a perspective of the alumni community, that lady there. From the perspective of the alumni community, why is this really important, and to what extent do you think we should collaborate, and where do we go, really, as a roadmap from you as a leader of this community?
Okay, thank you very much, Edgar. And welcome everyone to this first ever alumni convention. Clap for yourselves for making it for the very first, for being part of the history. Again, my name is Olivia Komgisha. I am so glad to be here, where we are looking at, an alumni, a journalism world beyond journalism, and reflecting on the responsibility, our responsibility to the world. To just get quick into the question that you've asked me, when we, if you went through the fellowship, if you went through a training at the Media Challenge or participated in the activities, I guess most of us were asking ourselves, what next? I remember for my year and I'm glad to see Sharon Shatra here. Shatra, wave to the audience. She's one of the people who influenced me to actually participate in 2017 to be part of the alumni, to be part of those competitions, and that's how eventually I ended up here. So when I participated, I asked myself, so what next after here? If you win an award, what next? And then the fellowship happened. That was the next thing for me. And when the fellowship happened, I kept on, I was in school then, but I was still trying to figure out what I can do vis-a-vis the school that I was doing. So the question was always, what next? And that's when I got the opportunity to work with NTV. But even when you're there, you're asking yourself, what next? You know? And with the media challenge, we had built a family. I was in the same class with Buchana. I saw Paul Kayonga earlier. So it was a close-knit community that at the time it was just, you know, only coming together, talk about journalism, go. Come together, get the skills you want, go. But now you start reflecting, when you graduate, now you ask yourself, what next? Employment was there, but what next? Are you going to lose touch with the rest of the friendships you've made? Because you make friendships, you get attached to these people, you now feel like you belong somewhere. You have a belonging. So that's what I felt at the time. You know, so why the alumni community is very important is, one, it's a sense of belonging, yeah? We are all here, we all speak the same language, or you understand snippets of the language that we speak, yeah? So it's very important that you go somewhere where you feel like you belong. But like you started earlier, you mentioned how moving in groups or more than one will take you very far. Most of us tend to come back to the media challenge for opportunities, for everything. It's still like, MCI is still like a mother looking out for, you know, her children, you know? So that's part of, you know, being in a community. You know there's always a father, a mother somewhere looking out for you. And most of us are no longer in the fellowship or anything, but here we are, we've been part of this training, and we've gotten extra skills. So what better way of doing that than doing it in a community? The other thing is, it's networking, really. Every time we come for media challenge activities or any of their programs, you leave when you know more than the people you knew initially. Like, most of the, in this training that we had the last 2 days, there were a few people I knew, but mostly I also knew them from here, but I was able to meet other people. You know, you understand their passion, you understand the things they do, you're able to share, you know, opportunities and stuff, but also you grow in the reasoning, you see how people, you know, approach different things. So that kind of network is very important. But most importantly, to grow together, you know, it's beautiful to watch how, you know, we've grown together. I remember, like, in my fellowship class, we were all, you know, just young. We just had a dream, really. But to watch all of us, you know, grow and realize all these dreams, and now dream even, you know, far and beyond. It's really key. But the other thing is, media challenge is a family for us, you know. We can always come back here. This place, like Abbas said, is home. You don't have to be invited home. So one of the things that, as the alumni committee, what we are trying to do is, we thought the strategies of bringing us together, we had the best strategies, but we came to realize that we actually don't have the best strategies. Because look at this room. For the history of Media Challenge the last 7 years, this room would be full and would have people on the corridors. So how else can we work together? How do you feel like you belong to this community to start with? And if you don't belong, how else then can we work together to tap into our community, but also to bring back on board those who are not here? Because some of us, after the training, that is it. We don't look beyond that. So what can the alumni community and the MCI leadership do to make sure, you know, that we continue as a family, we grow together? But also, you know, the alumni community has now become brand ambassadors. I don't know, everywhere I go, if I'm doing my introduction, I talk about, you know, MCI, being an MCI fellow alumni. So most people usually ask, what is MCI? The few that don't know, because now Media Challenge, most people know about it. But those that don't know will ask. So we become brand ambassadors, and that's also important for the sustainability of MCI as a hub, but also the community. Because if we become brand ambassadors as the alumni, then everyone will want to be part of this community. You feel like, you want to be part of the community. But maybe lastly it's going to be continued learning, really. Every time we meet, there's always something new to learn. We've had, 3 days of skilling. Even when you think you don't need them, you realize actually you need them. The complex things. So the continuous learning, and the learning can be from the Media Challenge, but it can also be from, all of us. Omuya is an author. What else can I learn from him? If I'm doing my work, what can you learn from me? So the alumni community is very important, and I just pray that, by the time we exit these doors, we have an idea of how else we can make you feel and belong in this community. And those that are not here, how else can we incorporate them and, make sure that they are part of these activities, because at the end of the day, they are in this family. Yeah, Ed.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Olivia points out something very pertinent, the growing. We have grown. When you look back at the videos we did, I remember my first video in the fellowship. I don't even want to see it, oh my God. I literally froze. And Mark is telling me, truly live, Edgar, truly live. But I was literally freezing. So you talk about something that is very pertinent. Something that they've told me right now is that we're going to change the setting. We need to be more intimate. And I've been told to leave this particular designation. So please, let's just use a minute or two so that we can just come closer to each other. Everybody, you can carry your seat and just come a bit closer so that you can have an intimate conversation. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Some guys can come through here for a better setting, and our cameras, if you don't mind. There's also a special seat that was designated for any of the people out there who'd want to ask a question, add a contribution, anything, because it's all about us. So if you have a question, any feedback, you can just come here and sit, and we can add on that. Okay. So, can we continue? Okay. So I'm going to come to you, Julius, since you're next to me. I'll start with you. Are there some ways that you think we could improve the already ways that we have in building this particular community? Are there some activities or anything that you think can help in improving us and building a stronger community?
Thank you, Edgar. My president spoke for quite some time. I don't know whether you feared her or something. She's a president. Okay. She spoke for like 30 minutes. And I was just thinking, Edgar, moderation skills have gone, eh? All right. This alumni community has young talent. But what we are being trained is, get on TV, get on radio, write, take pictures, videos, and all that, PR and all that. But as you have that special craft, the employment world also desires you to have a very good CV, to have that up-to-date, enticing application later. I can bet if I pointed one person in the crowd to just show me their CV on phone, it could be a CV format of 2010. Am I speaking to somebody's soul? Of 2010. Address, email, telephone number, date of birth. And you think somebody will look at that CV and get enticed to shortlist you? Just because you're a good photographer, just because you're a good storyteller? A few of you will be headhunted. People like Ishak will go in for a competition. They will be voted on merit because they performed to the people's desire. But not all of you will have the same path. You'll go in for a job interview and you do not satisfy these people, but because you're a very good videographer, and you'll not be taken. Yeah? So as you have that craft being mastered, you're a very good reporter, videographer, photographer. Can you also go the other side of life and make sure your CV is up to date? It shouldn't be the years you've spent in working. I see Hannah, I've been telling her, you're doing good on social media. It's like, even in person, I'm doing great. You don't have to do a lot of things. Let your CV, even if you have 2 years of internship, can you make your CV look like you have 10 years of experience? So that when an HR looks at it, you do not have to have a second eye on it, but shortlist you. Media is very fragile, that you might be many that can do one thing, but they would look out for the exceptionality of that person. What puts you aside? When I was on Record Television, I was a news manager, editor, reporter, and anchor at the same time. When I was doing my CV, I put all that. And when King Carissa looked at my CV and asked me, how are you doing all this? I'm like, it's a training ground, that's why you've called me. I can do everything. And one question I remember Joyce Bagala asking me, she asked, apart from this, what can you do? I said I can do both languages, Luganda and English. I can do camera. I can script both languages. I can voice both languages. And I can edit the videos I've captured in the field. King Carissa looked at me and said, I'm not going to sign your contract now. Joyce Bagala, deploy him tomorrow. Let me see that work. I was deployed at Media Center. There was a presser for Ministry of ICT. I went, did the story. I did live at 1, gave them a small clip, came back in the evening, did a masengeje, voiced, edit, and everything, did live at 9, and my story was number 1. At around 10:30 in the night, King Carissa sent me a message, welcome to the winning team. It was a blow to me. Yeah. It was like a month when I joined NBS. I think Mordecai Morisa was hired before me. And when we came, we were all doing the same thing. Mordecai was not doing camera. He didn't know camera. But he was voicing 2 languages, scripting 2 languages, standing before the camera and doing a live link in 2 languages. A policy came up after us and said, if you can't do 2 languages in the newsroom, leave. Yeah. You can imagine how people hated us. Said, you know? I remember Kayonga was in the newsroom and everybody was saying, one media challenge, you know? So, you know, Kavalagala. So it was a blow to many people. Like, we brought change in the newsroom. Joyce Bagala was not a joke. My first project,
yeah,
after
as
that,
summarize
as I summarize in a minute.
Link it to how it helps
what I'm trying to show
in
is
the community.
You do not have to have one craft with you. If you can add something that makes you special from the others, that's what employers are looking for. If you're good at taking pictures, what makes you good to beat Isano, to beat Nicholas Bamulanzechi, to beat this guy from Daily Monitor? What makes you think that you're better than them? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
If you're a person who is a reporter, what makes you be better than Kayonga Paul, than Daniel Lutaya, than Canary Mugume? What makes you think they will drop Canary and hire you? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
As I finalize, there are people here, you're very good at what you do, but your behavior, you get an award and you're like, do you know me? You're flaunting the award everywhere. And let them put you before the camera.
Exactly.
You must fight for your space, either on social media or in physical. An award was just a compliment to you to show that you've done extra, but you're not the best. Yeah? In a second. The things they teach us here is basic. I mean, they can teach you in Kenya, they can teach you in South Africa, and you learn. Yeah? What you do with it is what gives you money. As you're the best photographer, as long as you're broke, your photography skills are null and void.
Exactly.
Think about the money before you negotiate for that job. But as well, an early beginner will reach far than somebody who wants to fly fast. Yeah? I beg to submit.
Thank you so much. Soon becoming a member of parliament, so mutula bidanga dala. That's a common phenomenon. And he also talks about the emotional intelligence, really. And I've realized it's the emotional intelligence that keeps you there. your papers will give you a leeway, but if the way you treat people is not the right way to do so, you'll end up really losing a lot. So I'll come to you, Navukuzi. From a podcaster's perspective, how do you think we can improve this particular community, and how can we be better, really?
Good afternoon. My name is Navuguzi Chwanuka. For those that don't know me, I was already introduced, lawyer and podcaster and mental health advocate. So for the part of podcasting, I think I would like to draw back a little bit the time when I first entered here. I don't know which door I used. I don't know if it was this or this, but I entered and I looked at this artistic view and I was like, I don't know what is happening here. I don't know what they do, but I'm not leaving. And I like the fact that I keep coming back and there is already space for me to come back. So for the part of podcasting, when I look at where we started, I don't think I've seen the people that I started with, because there were 5 of us, but I don't know where the others are. I don't know if there is a way how they are being tracked to see their progress. And then I advanced to being a trainer in the podcasting field as well. I've seen some of the people that I trained and I've supported some, but I still wonder if they have the right support system to keep them going. Because I think much as the podcasting industry is growing, and we have also gotten to a place where people are no longer really asking what is podcasting. That's something I think I may have last heard 3 or 4 years ago. But when it comes to the podcasters themselves, I think I've noticed people recording 1 episode and they give up, and then maybe 7 and they give up. If we can draw back to them and keep track of their progress or ask them where they are, because as the industry grows, there are also changes that are happening. Because now I think the questions that I've been getting the most are distribution. Questions on, because now the free platform that was doing the distribution, that was Anchor, which is now Spotify for podcasters, is no longer doing the distribution. So you get back to the learnings of, okay, now how do we go past this solution? So as the industry changes, I think we need to get back those, I don't know what they're called, resuscitation or whatever might have died within your industry, to just revive and have a memory or recollection or upgrade on the information to keep you moving forward. I think that's where the podcasters would benefit.
So bring back really the passion that you had in the first place when you were starting. And I think it's something that is very pertinent at a time such as this one, because you realize you do something and you take it as an activity. So you're kicking the key KPIs, trying to impress some people, showing up, sometimes for the transport refund, sometimes for the food. It's really something important that we put our heart into it. Have a vision for yourself. I am here because of this. I'm not just here because of the vibe and the fun itself. And I'll come to you, Helen, in that particular regard, at Solutions Now Africa, and also as a journalist in the general perspective. How do you think we can connect and bring back that passion itself, but also grow a bigger community, such as this one?
Thank you. For me, it is going back to the basics of IMC. Many a times we come to do different languages. And when we are done with IMC, some of us don't make it to the fellowship, but we're still alums. And at the end of the day, you're either still a student, and like Bochana said, traditional media is very competitive. They don't have space for everybody. There's once Raymond said something like, I think it was Raymond or Chamagao said, if you enter the newsroom of NTV, if they don't see that star quality in you, that's where it stops for you. You'll always be in the back end. But then what happens? Many of us in the community give up at that stage. For me, it is understanding that as a community, can we come up with a collective, an MCI collective, whereby it is a space where anybody can do their story, and it can be edited, because at the end of the day, a CV matters. You're not going to Kinkarisa, you're not coming to Amos or Abbas and just saying, oh, I can report, oh, I can do this. The employment world is ruthless. They need something very tangible. And so many times you'll find someone like Asoma is very good at storytelling, but as long as a platform is not provided for them, they are not. And they're not going to tell them to pick 800K from their pockets that they don't already have to create a website. But if there's a collective whereby, and I've seen this, it works in South Africa, I've seen it works in the US, where they have platforms where everybody goes and posts. And the other thing is that if you notice, even right now we're speaking English. What happens to the people that actually entered IMC as Luganda people? I have noticed somewhere along the way, if they don't join traditional media, it dies there. They either have to elevate to English, but we cannot be talented in both languages, and I'm not going to hang myself just because English is not my first language. So at the end of the day, it's not all about go create a YouTube channel. People, like she said, passion, eh? After the first episode, it gets 1K view, you give up. Yes. Solutions now, I remember when we began, the most viewed story right now did not start with the views it has right now. It started with about 10 to 20 views. It is consistency but at the end of the day, it's because we have a backup somewhere. You have Mr. Simon, you have Abbas saying, where are the stories, where are the stories? So you don't even have the post to think of like, but it doesn't have views. Maybe I stole the story wrong. So you keep on pushing. But there are people who don't have that push. You have to push yourself. So you see 10 views, I'll use Haman. Haman does Luganda, and he's so good. Yeah. And he's pushing his content via TikTok. Yes. But I don't know how many times he comes to my table and says, man, you get, then I tell him, push. But I'm only one, you understand? But if we have a collective where there is a space where they're allowed to use diversity of language, I can tell Haman, hey, do your video in Luganda, I'll come and transcribe it for you. I saw a video with Sulaiman while we were at the training. And the first thing that popped in my mind was like, how can I make that story bigger? How can we collaborate? So it goes back also, how can we as a community collaborate? That I do English, Sula does Luganda, and that's where he's comfortable. So how do we collaborate? So at the end of the day, when we have events and everything, people are going to be excited to come. But if for them, they're like, search for Nam. Abbas usually says this thing at the beginning. Some of you will leave the way you came, you understand? But for most times, if you talk to people, they're like, I learned, but where to practice? Because let us be realistic, media is ruthless. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it goes back to collaboration. And how are we open to collaboration? Because you think collaborating with Sula, who's already on BBS, is going to take away your shine. No, you understand? I love sharing bylines with Ronette, because for me, that is my tap into health reporting, because me, I'm into women reporting. So when she says, Helen, let's collaborate here, I'm like, oh yeah, you understand. But I think people have not appreciated collaborative writing, because again, you're partnering with, let's say, President Obuchana, who already have stronghold names. So you feel like you're going to be in the shadow. For me, I can tell people in the community is that if you know someone like Bella, someone like Presh, and they are good at something, let that be your hook, because the CV has to grow. And the reason why we hide is simply because we have nothing to show. And when you have nothing to show, you're like, oh, man, people are going to be talking about their success, and then I'm there just nodding my head like a gecko. Let me stay back. As you summarize. So, but if you know there is something, trust me, you're going to be excited to come. Because like Bachana said, after the award, so what? You have an award, and then, yeah, you hang it. Mine is somewhere in my former school. You get, I don't even know where it is. I know it is there, even on my CV, it's there, even in my bio, but that's not what employers and consulting firms look out for me. They say, have you done a story about this? Yeah. But because I collaborated with Ronette on health, I really get I get the chance. They're like, oh, she actually does health. I don't do health. It's just that I did a collaboration there, and somehow I have used that avenue. So my CV grows.
Wow,
yeah.
Thank you. Let's clap for that submission. Because you realize, how can Solutions Now Africa do a story and it has 13 views, really? Because us here, at least let's say, it's supposed to be 100. But you realize that we have not supported ourselves. And we always sometimes criticize each other negatively. And I'm thinking, you should understand that the elevation of another man does not lessen you in any way, really. Because if you support Helen to be the greatness that she has to be, there is a way that you're going to tap into that greatness. You never know, because what goes around really comes around. So I understand your point of view, and I really appreciate it. And this is a call to action. And the good thing, we've been having these conversations, really. Let's start supporting each other. It does not take a lot to just hit a like button, share on your status, or just call this guy to tell him, man, you did a very good story. That is already enough for him to know, man, I'm doing something good. But you do a story, nobody watches it. For me, I'm always complaining with some of my friends, nobody watches my morning show. The people who watch my morning show are different. And I'm like, okay, I thought you people would be the ones to. But a good thing, some of us have realized that we can buy without money. Let me come to you, Noah. Aicha, from a perspective of an innovator and someone who's writing biographies and authoring books, how do you think we can tap into our strengths and build a stronger community, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I come to that, I needed to add what Helen said. Sometimes some of us fear to come here because we have nothing to show. I think that should stop if it happens. We should keep coming here to get inspired. If you have nothing to show, you come and talk to me. You find me, I am showing something. Rama is showing something. Bella is here. You ask, how can you do it? We can inspire each other in that way. Now, first of all, I am a proud alumni of the Media Challenge, not just the fellowship, but that's why I'm waving this flag. I'm not getting it out of my body today. I am the flag bearer. And Olivia, well done for the stewardship and the executive. There's a book in the Bible, I think it's Proverbs, either 19, verse 28. Someone will fact check for me. It says, in a community where there is no vision, we perish. So, as part of the alumni, as people who have gone through the Media Challenge programs, I think the setup of this alumni team association is giving us a vision. And what is the vision? The vision is to support each other. It is not what is on paper, but this is what I'm looking at. We are coming here to recognize each other's strength. The other day when we just started the retreat, there is a lady called Serena. I think she's still here. She has a TV called NSTV. Where is she? I saw her coming around saying, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I just need you to subscribe and get notified. And everyone was clicking subscription button. And I think that's what we can do together here. And if we continue doing that, it will be a growing team. And the next time we come here, it will be like the yearly fellowship, the yearly convention. We'll create another fellowship out of this. So me, I really believe in recognizing each other's strength and also identifying other people's strength. There are some statements that people throw here and they make some of us think like we are the Jonas, we are running away from the vision, from the mission. People are telling Buchana MP Entebbe municipality, and then he doesn't have a statement to say because he has not told anyone that I want to go and contest, but people say you can be an MP. People call me honorable each time they see me, and I ask, but now I have never told anyone I want to contest. So me, I really believe in that power, in that strength as a community, in identifying each other's strengths. If you're not just a journalist, if you're not just an author, a book author, what else can you do? What else can someone see in you that can be pushed? Yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the question?
And speaking of the pushing, just push. Sometimes I think just push. When something is there, just push it. If there is something bad, I think it's okay to just hide the bad and just go to him and say, okay, the sound was a bit funny here, but the image was here. And, yeah, not a bat, by the way, and. As we're giving feedback, you always use an and, not a bat. So, and this should be a bit improved. So, please hide the bad thing and show the good.
But,
Hannah,
Edgar, I really think it's also not okay to hide the bad.
From
but
the public.
It depends on how you bring the bad. You don't come and slap me on the face before all these people and say, hey, you did this, but this is really so bad. You know, also feedback matters. And we also have to be very careful on how you give feedback and also what feedback you take. How you get feedback, that's what a guy is saying. Tell me the good thing. And also pull me aside and say, hey, by the way, this was also not okay. Yeah, sometimes people feel so slapped on the face, and even if you're so mature with your emotional intelligence, you get pulled down a bit.
Yeah. I've been there before. There is a gentleman who was hosting a very what they called an important person, and he's a journalist also. And he said when big names speak, they speak to. I didn't see the big names, so I went and I said, but I don't see the big names. But seriously, when I went back to contemplate on myself and I realized, man, I was being a jerk, really. Because I put down this person's ego, really, just because I didn't feel it. But this person felt that this is a big name. So I think that needs some introspection there in. Hannah, what's your perspective? And for you, I appreciate you that you have a lot of innovations, a lot of things going on, and I admire your tenacity. How can you even cope with that? Let's clap for Hannah first, guys. Hannah does a lot of things. Hannah, from your experience, how do you think we can build a better community?
I think by understanding that this community is such a gem. Like the first time I joined MCI, when I came in for the competition and all that, I entered the space and I saw all these different alumni, and I was like, wait, are you trying to tell me that Olivia is an alumni of this thing, yeah? I was looking at all these people who are doing something impactful in the industry, and I said, I want to be able to rub shoulders with these kinds of people. So I understood that the MCI alumni community was going to be an opportunity for me to actually get into spaces, build my brand, and I think it takes a lot of boldness for you to do that. I already see a couple of people sharing their work in the MCI alumni group, and nobody is giving them the time of day. Not even a reaction, not even a laughing emoji, not even, and they keep sending and sending and sending, and nobody's even supporting them. Yeah, so it takes a lot of boldness for somebody to do that. I think that's why a good number of people aren't even here today. They feel demoralized. Does anybody in this community care about what I do? Do they even look at the work that I'm doing? I'm actually surprised. I came here and people were like, oh, Hannah, I saw your Art for Change. Nobody in the community came except a few who are in the program, But apparently they know what I'm doing, but there's no sign of support, in that particular area. And I was having a conversation with someone from the community, and I told them, oh, are you coming for the... And they're like, I always post my videos there, and nobody gives me the time of what? The time of day. So I think if we want to build this community into something strong, we need to start supporting each other. It does not have to be financial. It can be emotional. It could just be a reaction on a message. Yeah? And you'll be so surprised by the ripple effect of this alumni community. But also another thing that I think so many of us don't understand is that this community is such a gem. Like some of my biggest opportunities have come from recommendations from people in this community. People who I don't even know. Somebody will call you and be like, oh, Hannah, so-and-so has recommended. And I'm like, where did I meet this person? I have never met this person. And then I get to realize they're actually in the MCI alumni group, and I think they saw a post I threw there someday, and they're like, let me recommend Hannah. So if you are not continuously putting yourself out there, if you're not continuously being bold about what you do, even though nobody is responding to your message, just get to know that we are watching, we are seeing, and we know what you're doing. Yeah? So that's all I can say. Let's support each other, but also be bold about what you do, whether people are responding or not. Just know that they are watching you and they are seeing you. Like, at the start of this year, some of like 4 of my biggest jobs
four of my biggest gigs were recommended from people in the MCI alumni. And honestly, for me,
By the way, let's clap for Hannah once more. We realized that we have a lot of important people here. I think I was hinting to the president and I was telling her, who am I to be working with you? Yeah, it sounds small, but Olivia is a great person. The story she tells has changed people's lives, right? Julius Buchana, these are great men, yourselves. That's why I said it's honoring for me to stand in front of greatness. It's very good that you can call Buchana and he will understand and he will pick you and he will serve you or help you. You can call Bella anytime because we are in the same community. So let's harness. And I'm going to start hearing from you guys. What do you think we could do as a community to build a stronger bond, really? I saw Kayonga, you had something to say?
He should be able to say something.
Kayonga always has something to say. Yeah, so let's listen from Kayonga.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here. You see, these spaces are very, very good for some of us. They have been a lot to us, and they continue to be the greatness, the great walls that we have to. That's why we struggle with whatever we are doing to see what is happening. I'll be there. I'll try. One of the things I think we can do is to have a database of who we are, what are we doing, where are we doing it from, who is not doing something and why. And I think the leadership of the alumni can do that, maybe to create a record so that the management of this organization and also us can know that something is happening here or not happening. I'll give you an example. When I left German last year in March to do my research, the professor told us that we are supposed to be back to our countries to support our communities and our media organizations with the knowledge that we have got from Germany. So after my submission of the thesis, Professor Schmidt sent me an email with a survey-like something, like the name, what are you doing, have you got a job? It's a professor of a university, really doesn't care whether you should be having a job, but he's trying to find out so that he can track, can have a record of the students he has been coordinating to see the progress and to see whether the community can do anything about it. So I think we can also do that, because most of the people who don't come into these spaces, maybe they're struggling. Maybe they are trying to find a way of being where they want to be. And the community of ideas is seated here. They are not here. They have no solution. They have no way to go. And I think we can do it.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Mohammed?
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Media Challenge for this great work. I personally have got, I think, a lot of opportunities because of this platform, because of MCI. Now, somebody talked about the issue of supporting one another, and also like uploading a video on YouTube and you find 1 likes, and you see here we have very many in this hall. Why can't we have a group? Why can't you, post a link of your Twitter handle in the group and we follow each other right away? You go into the YouTube and we follow each other so that, because right now things are changing, as all of you are aware. Things are changing. We are using online platform. We are going digital. We can support one another through that way. Yeah. So I think that is very great. I just have a small funny story whereby at my workplace, this a colleague who follows you right now, then the next hour he unfollows you. But I think I think that is, we need to support one another. What I mean is that let us use our groups. We support one another, we follow each other on these digital platforms. And then another thing, lastly, is about Munno Mokabi. This is a very big platform, according to me. We can organize either whereby we can support one another. If Buchana has got a problem, we can be there for him. If Edgar, you have got some, we can be there. If it is need contribution, we can. Even if it is 10,000, I think we can do that and support one another. Paul has talked about it. Let us track. Where is Edgar working from? Where is Buchana these days? Where is Muhammad you get? So that if there's a problem, we can all come out and support one another. Exactly. I think that can be, great.
How can we work together as a generation, really? Guys came together and had an idea in their generation, in their time, and they have executed it. They are reaping from it. We are in our time. We're in our generation. How can we work together? Because this is a big community to build a bigger vision and a bigger impact. Yes, Ruvimbo from Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much. Yes, proudly. So, in this community, we have had people who have been helped through professional things. But for me, MCI did not help me through professional things. I have the skill set and everything. Trust me, I have everything journalistic. However, I feel like a community like MCI can help us deeper than that. When I joined the IMC, I was a second-year student. I had just returned from my country for a holiday. But honestly, I was planning to stop going to school and go back home because I was failing to fit in this country and I was just tired. But I came into MCI and I found a family. And I always come back here when I feel like I've not been goofy for a long time. I come here and I scream a lot and people be like, what's wrong with this chick? Nothing is wrong with me. I feel at home more than I feel at home when I'm at home with my own sisters. So it is beyond the professional. It is an open space, non-judgmental space where we get to meet people who understand us on the same level. So I think we should continuously encourage these meetups, these spaces, so that people get to grow not just professionally, but on an individual level. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruvimbo. I like Ruvimbo's accent. We're great together. We shall be together, my dear. Ruvimbo is someone I enjoy. Of course, I have to go to Zimbabwe and Harare. Bella, we are going to give opportunity to 3 more people because of time. You have to go for lunch, and we have some breakout sessions. So, Miss Bella, please tell us.
For me, I think as human beings, we are inherently selfish. And one of the things, which is okay, but it's not entirely fine. Most times we say, self-love, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to put myself first. But sometimes that overshadows other people in your life that are also important. So I think lack of initiative then comes in. Initiative to check in on people and know how they are doing. Not for the sake of saying, how are you? And getting an answer of, I am fine, which is always the answer. But for the sake of intentionally knowing how they are doing. Kayonga said some people are not here because probably they're struggling. Probably someone doesn't have transport. They're not online. They can't like your story because they don't have data. Have you reached out to ask them how you can be of help? Or even when they don't tell you and you know you've heard from someone that they're not doing well, could you send them something? Or find ways of being there for them. And initiative does not just start with doing that. Initiative could start with you picking a piece of paper sitting where you're seated, or a piece of, a bottle. Because if you're not doing it, then the next person won't do it. It will become a ripple effect. Yeah.
Okay, I'll come to the people this side, yeah. So if you can pass the microphone to her so that she can also tell us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me try to stand up.
It's okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Naguja Serena. I am quite a bit older than most of you. Yes, because when I look at least everyone is below 30.
Aha, continue. Continue.
I am a journalist, and unfortunately, way back in my years of journalism, we did not get such things. They were not there. Because I trained from NBS, but these are the times of, please go out, bring a story, do this, run to that, and there was nothing like interactions. We did not do things. And in my career, when I landed on a link, I'm going to talk about marketing yourself and understanding who you are. I personally, there is what we call a chain. You might think, maybe some people out, I keep posting events that happen at MCI even when I'm not here, because I want to show people out there who follow me that you can do something with your effort. However, you need some people around you. Me joining MCI, I did not join it through someone. It was personal initiative through learning. When I saw a link, you see this business of seeing links going here and there, and you just say, oh, links, yes, links are everywhere in most groups, but you just say, Kaiteo. When I landed on a link at MCI, that was the most productive. It was, I don't know how I can say it, but it was a life-changing thing in my life.
Exactly. Let's clap for Media Challenge, guys.
Since then, I have acquired a lot of things through MCI.
Okay.
However, I wanted to talk about the pull factors.
In a minute.
In a minute. Some people might be in the space, background space, and they're like, I'm not part of any team, I'm not part of any leadership, I'm not in the bank, I'm not in what, all the teams that we see here. You are something. You might think having Bella, Julius in front, you are left behind. No. What defines you is what you do. What defines you is what you bring outside there. I am a young CEO. I had to look into myself and see what I am capable of doing better.
Okay.
And I had to stick to it. Through being consistent. It's not easy because you run here and there looking for survival I like to sell yourself outside there. However, be consistent. Things will be well for you.
Thank you so much, young CEO. There is a Philip behind you. Philip, and maybe we shall have Ishak and Yada last.
Thank you very much. I would like to start with Abbas's saying, keep closer to the fire. We are the fire. Your idea is the fire. If you go away from the fire, you're going to go astray. Because we all know that alone you can go far, but together we can go further. You have to have a system around you, because the people around you are the people that are going to recommend you to your next, maybe funder, your next client, your next employer. And you don't have to have that pride because someone is not on your level that you can't help them. I don't know how many people in the academy, I don't know how many people in IMC have contacted me to help them with pitches, to recommend them to fellowships, to give them links to apply to. And even though sometimes you may not have time, you have to spare that time because you don't know what this person is going to be in the next month or in the next year. So stop looking at people at the level where they are and look at them in a bigger angle. We have to measure ourselves as winners and not just cluster a few and say those are the winners and we are the losers. No one is a loser here. We are all winners. And if we can work together, we will win. So your neighbor, I believe some people don't even know their neighbors right now because you stopped on high. Yes. But if you get to know your neighbor and you take that initiative, don't be that kind of person who will be like, this person has not said hi to me, then I won't.
Yeah.
You start the conversation. When you go on with the conversation, you don't know what will come out of the conversation. Be the leader, start. And the rest will follow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Ishak?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I want to say that I'm so proud of myself to be a part of a community with you great people. I'm so, so proud. And honestly, each and every time that I come here, it's very humbling for me. Because where I'm working right now, I've met so many people that I don't even remember or know. So many people that were at events here at MCI who come to me, who say that they know me because of MCI or they've seen me, associated with MCI, and that's something that I can never take for granted. Back to what we're talking about, I feel like it's very important for us to have such networking sessions as many times as we can. And also, it's very important for us to know each other. And by knowing each other, I'm not talking about just knowing that this is Olivia, that this is Nabuguzi. It's very important for me to know what they do, who they are, in all their capacities. That's very important, because in knowing them and knowing what they do, I'm going to know how I can approach them, how we can collaborate, how we can work together. I feel like that's very important. Also, one more thing, we need to celebrate each other. We need to celebrate and applaud each other so much, because so many of us here have achievements that not everybody knows about. So celebrating each other is going to help us to uplift our souls. It's going to help us to, know that this is what's happening in Yada's life. This is what Philip is up to. And that is also going to help us grow as a community. That is very important. I feel like the alumni committee needs to, just keep track of our lives. We need to know what everyone is up to so that we get to celebrate them. That is very important. Otherwise, I love you guys so much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, big boy. First of all, I've been told that lunch is a mindset, so... No, but the thing is this. This is one of the most important sessions of the day. So I've been advised to listen in from at least everyone who has something to say. And the other thing is, we hope that these things are being minuted or something, because after this, we need to start having next steps, really. So let's have Yada, then Pato will come next.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Let me just stand. My name is Yada, for those who do not know me. What I wanted to say is actually just what Ishak has also said, also in terms of what Helen said about collaboration. In this community, we come in and what we know is, I want to be a journalist, I want to be a news anchor, I want to be this and that. But the more we move on, the more we interact with these people, with all those people out there, we realize where we want to be. And slowly, gradually, you get to see that more people are transitioning into who they really want to be. I came here wanting to be a news anchor, and now I am focused on, doing health communication. And the things that I learned from this place are the things that still help me in the field that I am in, because in the same field you'll find there's storytelling, there's all these things that we learn here, and they make me, stand out. But again, coming down to the point of collaboration, like Helen mentioned, just because I am doing communication and in this place, journalism is, what makes the world a better place, it doesn't mean that we cannot work together and do much better. There are people, Ronette is doing health reporting, I'm doing health communication, Philip has his own health organization. So how do we make sure that we notice what someone is doing, and how do we make sure that we tap into those spaces? Because those are the places that will grow us and places that will give us a platform. We talk about having, a space where people can get to share who they are and what they're doing and all that stuff. But again, like Ishak just said, getting to know people and what they do is what could help us expand where we are and the territories and the places that we step into, because that is where you might find your next opportunity. So knowing that, I'm doing health reporting, who's the next journalist that is doing the same thing is not enough. What other say sectors can you tap into, and who's there that because that could be the next best thing for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next is Pato, and before you speak, Pato, I want to just appreciate you. Why? You do entertainment news writing, but I love the way you do it in a different perspective, really. Pato will write a story, and we write an angle that not everybody has reported. If it's a concert, you'll find people recording, people who came, blah, blah, blah. But he gives a perspective that you would not see in any other tabloid. So, Pato, I've given you your flowers, man.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patrick Sentongo. I'm, first of all, so proud to be associated with the Media Challenge Initiative. I'll speak about two things, but one, about the development of this alumni community. Issues have been raised about part of our members that probably completely have not appeared in these spaces for quite a long time. And I think the theme of this very first MCI Alumni Convention said it very well, beyond journalism. I believe all of us who have passed through this space looked at journalism as our first priority. But the world is quite different. Things happen. Some people have moved on. But if we are to look at beyond journalism, probably some of our people fear coming, like Paul said, fear coming here because probably they are doing something else away from journalism. But if we are to look at the beyond, this profession, probably some of those people could join us and they could be sharing, probably they're in business, ideas that could also help some of us. So for me, ideally, I want to thank MCI because yesterday Abbas hinted on it, that one of the objectives or the aims of this MCI alumni community or the convention is to get all people together and, share ideas, even away from this profession. And I also, if I remember well, he hinted on a platform where our stories could be tracked and, shared, people share ideas, comment and all that. So I want to commend MCI, the team, for coming up with this special initiative. Two, for me, it's about the power. For the people that have been to the fellowship, I believe you've undergone the beat reporting, training and all that. For the people that are practicing journalism, be it print or broadcast and all that, I want to emphasize the power of beat reporting, like finding that niche. For me personally, I've immersed myself in, you talked of entertainment. In Uganda, when you speak about entertainment reporting or reporters, it comes off as a joke. And for people out there, I will tell you, when you describe yourself as an entertainment reporter, everyone's mind goes to entertainment has been reduced to gossip. And most of the people that are out there doing the gossip and what have killed what entertainment is. So ideally, some of us that have chosen to report about this bit in a rather different way choose to call ourselves arts, because entertainment is simply an aspect of the arts and all that. To get back to the point, I've immersed myself into reporting about arts and culture. And trust me, ever since I took on that mantle, things have changed for me, because, you fully put yourself into a space or a sector where over time people can know that, this is a go-to person. Even the very many opportunities. Helen here was speaking about people in the practice that are over time looking into moving into communication. But even after communication, if we move into our 40s and 50s, we need to move into consultancy or other related works. So for me, I think if you fully immerse yourself into that one aspect and you be like, I'm Philip, I'm reporting about health. Even if you're to evolve and say you're moving out of the newsroom, the opportunities that would be coming would still be aligned. And also your information, information networks around that particular bit will really be the real deal. Yeah. I wanted to share that for the practicing people in journalism. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rukia Nabanja.
Hi guys, my name is Rukiana Banja. I think for me what's really important or something that I usually put at the forefront of so many things is how do we think about selflessly giving without getting something in return? So we have talked about collaborations. They are really amazing. It's okay to reach out to me as the bank and say, hey, we have this university, would like you guys to train, yeah? There is what you get in return. But for me, I'm thinking about it in terms of who is that person that you know that perhaps is not doing something, but you are in an organization that, or a job that has a vacancy, or that has an opportunity for someone to be trained, and then you deliberately reach out to them to give them that opportunity, not because it's a collaboration, but because they are going to look back 5 years later and say, I am here because Ishak called me on one random evening. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I am here, or you meet in other spaces where maybe that person has surpassed your level, or they work for maybe the office of the president, but you are not there, but they can still look back and say, I am in the office of the president because Olivia called me on this event. So you are reaching out to them not because you have anything to gain from them, but because you have thought about them, or you have thought of a community that perhaps has a lot of talent and people who really do a lot of amazing things, and you're thinking, there is someone, there must be someone. And think about a day where when you look at the most influential people, there are 1,000 of those from this community. It comes from being selfless and being deliberate in giving people those opportunities, not because it gains you in one way.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to have 2 more people. I'll have Rachel, and then we'll have Miss Atwine. Sorry? Abbas, okay. Can you be the last if you don't mind? Okay, thank you. Sorry? Rachel is going to speak. Can someone get Rachel a microphone?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Rachel Kanyana, and I'm going to speak about 2 things. So one is a suggestion on how we can make this community even stronger, and one is to maybe make the meetups regular. Perhaps we could have like 2 retreats a year or something. Yeah, and then because you see how we met recently with the guys at the hotel, it ignited something. There was a lot of excitement. I met my colleague who I haven't seen in like 7 years. So it's really, I think the physical meetups also make a bigger change. Secondly is a point of emphasis. Guys, this community is one of the valuable things you could ever have. I have been in spaces where I had to pay to be a part of a professional community, but you're here for free, so I would implore you to take leverage of this community and all that it has to offer. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. There is Atwine. Atwine is in the back.
Thank you so much, Edgar.
You're welcome.
And I'm really happy to be part of this community. Mine is really short, yet really important. And it really goes to our leaders, alumni community leaders. We were in the fellowship years and we got to learn a lot of things, but after some years, we have forgot. we really don't remember a lot of things, and this is really evident. During the training, we were being taught about data journalism, and for sure we couldn't remember. So how about we get a refresher courses, because we need to, practice every now and then. Two, we have grown as people, and for this in our careers. I'm not the Ronit that I was 3 years back, and Feli is not the Feli she was. By then we met maybe when she was a good writer, yes, but she has improved. You get, if you were a camera person by then, now you have more skills. If you were a reporter by then, you know more. How about we come up with training sessions whereby we can invite these people, talk to us, train us, because I believe everyone has grown in their career and it's important that we share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Atwine Ronet. She's recently, should I tell them the news over? She's recently an award-winning journalist from Solutions Now Africa. Congratulations once again. CEO, you had something to say, sir. You know, Mikey.
Good.
True African.
Yeah. Proud. A few things for me. So, I think, when was it last? This month, no, this year. I was invited to go and speak at the Uganda retirement, what is it called? Retirement benefits, yeah. So, and I was like, oh, what am I going to say to, because I'm not planning to retire soon. But turns out we're actually talking about old age poverty. And old age poverty is so painful that when people, as you age and grow, your opportunities to work, your investment and everything, so you turn to the mercy of either young people who, your children who then have to provide for you, right? And part of like the work to do around thinking about the future is this kind of communities, also thinking about old age poverty. So that's why for me I thought the danger in this space has always been this immediate outcome of what do I want from here, right? And I can tell you how many people after the job comes, you never see that person again. And it's fine. Probably, people get busy, and like Bella said, we need to understand why people. There must be challenges. However, right, I know that there are different kinds of community members, and one time I listed in the WhatsApp group. There are people who, like, they give the community fire. They are not just coming to take the fire and run away. There are people who just take fire and just go, right? There are people who take and still continue to light because that community needs firewood to keep firing. That calls for leadership. The challenges we have are really, most of them, leadership. So that's why the president, vice president, and everyone, you need to co-opt members that will fire up the community and make sure that you have, because that's where the challenge comes in. If the leadership is not intentional on the vision of the community and firing it up, it will just all come back to when MCI calls us, and then the things Ronette is talking about. If you asked Kayonga to facilitate a session on investigative journalism and data journalism, the guy has masters in that, right? Have you ever been there to even think, let's have Kayonga at MCI to facilitate that session? And so I particularly don't like, I wish all of you guys get jobs, but I hate the idea of just being job, like the job. A lot of people I've seen come here, the moment they get a job, even to try and build more skills, zero. Even when you say there is this training, this fellowship apply, never. For me, as long as I'm working somewhere, I have, and that is very dangerous. So you need visioning, you need leadership, and that leadership is not just going to come from the president, it comes from all of us to be able to participate fully. So, you've heard from your people, so we wait for you guys to do the action. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Abbas. Okay, I'll come back to the panel, and I'm going to start with you, Olivia. You're going to give us your parting shots, but in your parting shots, please tell us what support you need as the leadership of the MCI alumni community. How can the members and also MCI be of help to you people, and also give us your parting shots?
Thank you so much. I feel like I am on the spot, but I was made for that. I was born for that. Yeah. One, when we were all speaking, I just want us to look at this as one of our extended families. Today we've formed the smaller groups. Let those be our nuclear families, where we are literally like looking out for each other. But the most important thing is for us to execute all the beautiful, amazing ideas you've shared today, we shall need your commitment and support. Because we definitely won't do this work on our own. The committee consists of representatives from either, if you are from University A, you are part of the IMC, but people come, show face one day, second day, when you call them for meetings, they don't show up again. You know, by show of hands, I want the committee to raise their hands, and you see what exactly I'm talking about. There's Philip, Silas, Tracy, Julius, Regan, Dan. But all the other people, because we have representatives from the different rooms, different classes, whatever, they are not here. And it's not like they were not contacted or anything. It's because, I don't know if it's lack of interest. And even as I say this, as you intend to apply and be part of the committee, please know that this is entirely volunteering. Do not expect any pay. You know, if you think this is going to be another job or, you know, do not expect any pay. Because that's usually like a form of motivation for most of us. But this is the work we are doing for... Did we pay when we were in the fellowship? No. We did not. They did their volunteering work. And can we now also transfer that to this community? As we go into, you know, the different smaller groups that we're talking about, can we reflect on, you know, the activities? And if we reach out to you, please show up. We don't care if we have only 100 people who are active, by the way. If it's like the way we are in this room, if we call up on you and you come, if we make it vibrant and interesting, other people will just come on their own. Yeah. So we are relying on you for your commitment, for your support, but most importantly, to feel the committee is not yet full. There are spaces that are not yet filled. So if we reach out to you, kindly come and be part. That is it from me. I see Tracy's winding. The time is up.
There's a power in volunteering, really, because you reap what you sow, no, not where you sow. Helen, give us your parting shots in just a minute. A minute each, guys.
Thank you. There's something Abbas says that drove him to start the fellowship, that he went to a media station and they said, "Who knows you?" And he decided to create this space so that we can become each other's technical know-how. We are each other's technical know-how, and not just in journalism, in the vast fields that we are able to do. Like beyond journalism, like Patrick has been saying, we are each other's technical know-how. Okay. And if we support each other, in that way, people are going to be pulled in. People are going to know that at the end of the day, I have a support system, and let family not just be in words, but in our own actions through kindness and through just being there for each other.
Miss Nabuguzi, thank you so much, Helen.
Thank you so much for being a great audience. And I think I would like to draw back to what Abbas had shared on the objectives of this alumni convention, is it?
Yeah.
The reason for you to keep remembering as to why you started. Like she had highlighted somewhere that you upload an episode and you're like, but surely, yeah. But when you keep on to what motivated you to start, you have to just keep, going back and remember and possibly keep reciting this until it becomes your norm, I guess. So you have to keep reminding yourself as to why you started. Whatever you've been trained in, at least I'm aware that there are some programs that have been birthed from this kind of community. So whatever reason as to why you started, keep reminding yourself.
Okay. Tracy is telling us to hurry up, but we are home. Okay, a minute.
I know.
Just a minute, Julio.
If the dream or project you want to do does not scare you, then you're not in for it. Yeah? Philosophers say if your dream does not scare you, then it's not a dream, it's a fantasy. All I want to tell you is dream big, don't think small. If your project is big, look for big funders. Get that email on Google, email them. Show them you can do something bigger with them. As I conclude as well, recommend. How many know Shamim Nabakoza?
I do.
I pulled her from the cells of DSTV to the auditions at Nkumba University. When I was leaving Record Television, I recommended her to replace me. They hired her. As I was leaving, Record TV was sold while I was at NBS. When I was leaving NBS, I recommended her to the head of News Dalton. And she is where she is today because of recommendations from friends. So if your workmates are looking for jobs and you know a space where they can fill up at your workspace, recommend them. Push harder. Put yourself in their shoes and tell them, boss, I know this guy will do the best of what you're looking for.
Thank you,
if they go through, you'll be a blessing in their life. I beg to submit.
Lastly, but definitely not least, no.
Thank you. 1 or 2 points. First of all...
Okay, in a minute, both of them.
I want to say, like they say, keep close to the fire. Sometimes you don't have to wait for Olivia and the executive to send out a call for this. You may have to look for Olivia and the executive and ask, what can we do together for the alumni community to grow? Secondly, someone talked about search engine optimization. Please add in your whatever link you have online, Google, Twitter, X. Say I was a fellow of a class, 2019, 2020 of the Media Challenge Initiative. 4 years ago, I was with Abbas in a plane. I think we're in Ethiopia. On Thursday this week, I had a breakfast meeting with the CEO of CFI Medias France and the French ambassador in Uganda. In my book, in the second paragraph, I clearly say that I am the Media Challenge Fellowship alumni of class 2019. When these guys read that line in my book, they asked, is this what you were taught at MCI? You were taught how to even do this kind of writing? I said, yes. Yeah. And they said, we'll have another talk again. Wow. So please be proud. Whatever you write in your CV, online, say, I am a fellow class of this year. Yeah. Just put MCI. Okay. And thank you and have all the best. Olivia, keep it up. Don't give up. Okay. I am here to join you, either as an ex-official and I am a flag bearer.
As a consultant. Okay, guys. Thank you so much to the panelists here. Thank you so much to the people who have been listening to us. By the way, we are not the most brilliant of them all or the wisest of them all. It's always just a privilege from God for us to stand before you and talk about these things. So in everything that we do, the glory goes back to God. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a huge round of applause, one deserving of every insight they've shared. I think one of the core purposes of having this MCI Alumni Convention is that for us as the alumni community, it's time to recommit ourselves to this family. I think to jealously guard that we have, but even commit further to building it, strengthening it, so that our sisters, our friends, and those that are yet to join it find it alive, well, thriving, and giving what's supposed to be given. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a session that was initially meant to be a breakout session, but because it's very important and one that we think we all truly could pick a leaf from, especially because we struggle with work and life. And one of the core things we need to really master is balancing our work life, yes? So we thought that this particular one, we could have a session together before we break off for lunch at exactly 2:30. So this session is on work-life balance and self-care, what it means for the everyday millennial. I don't know, I'm not the one who wrote the word millennial. Absolutely, I mean, it's okay. Millennials, hi, what's up? So we're talking about work-life balance and self-care, what it means for the everyday young journalist, trying to make ends meet, staying sane, amidst the pressures of life. We don't think any of us should break away from this session. So millennial or not, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome a seasoned mental health consultant specializing in burnout, change management, depression, anxiety, addiction, and self-censorship. Ladies and gentlemen, Leona Buhenzire, commonly known as Tura.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry you have to first sit back before lunch and listen to work-life balance. But here we are. This is so nice to watch, to see professionals come together as a group to actually try and fix things. We don't have that in mental health. I wish we did. I wish I could sit here with a number of professionals, and I think it's a general issue in Uganda with regulation, with togetherness, with competition, and etc. This is seriously remarkable. And thank you for attending it on a Sunday. Like, I'm not sure if some professor reached out to me to go and attend a mental health conference on Sunday. It would be a definite no. So this is really, really impressive. I had someone saying millennials. I'm not sure how many millennials are actually here. 1, 2. I'm doubting. You're not a millennial. You're not a millennial. So my name is Leona Buhenzire, and I'm a clinical psychologist, and I've been in practice for 18 years. Yeah, I'm 42 years old, actually. Thank you. Thank you. I always wait for that, that attention and validation. So, thank you. So, I'm going to try, I would like for this to be a little more engaging so that it's not just me standing here and talking at you. I don't know if there are any other microphones, and if somebody can help me to move around with them in case anyone has an answer for the questions that I have for you, so it can be a bit more engaging, yeah? Yeah, okay, great. So, work-life balance and mindfulness. Does anyone here have an idea what mindfulness is about? Someone has an idea? ChatGPT. Someone said that. Yes. Cautious. That's an interesting choice of a word. Being cautious or conscious?
Conscious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in front.
An understanding of self and surrounding.
Very good. Very good.
I think mindfulness means to be fully present and fully engaged to what's happening around you at the moment.
Very good.
For me, I think that it's simply knowing what is going on around you and taking care of your surrounding.
Yes.
I think for me it's knowing what's around you and also recognizing how it affects you or not affect you and have clear boundaries about it.
Right. So if you have an idea of what's going on inside of you, first of all, it helps you with what's going on around you. If you don't know what's going on inside of you, then you don't really have a grip on what's going on around you. You're just kind of floating. And this is a very usual, very general coping mechanism for us all. It's how we were conditioned, in the African community, in the African, I don't know how if other people are conditioned like that, but us guys, it's never about the self, but the surrounding, our surroundings. So who believes that there is such a thing as work-life balance?
I do.
None? You do? Okay. I don't really believe in the whole work-life balance thing. I think life is really crazy. Yeah, I think life is really crazy, and I think it's about prioritizing what you need to actually prioritize, right? When you can. I think it's about taking a day at a time and understanding how you work as a person, right? So, today is supposed to be my only day off. Yeah? Incidentally, I have 2 trainings, and my firstborn son is coming home today. I'm not there. I'm here. This is also important to me. This is my passion. Yeah? So, I can go and set rules and say, I'm not going anywhere on Sunday. I don't care what happens. I don't care what you think or what you do. It's not happening. It's a lie. It's a lie. And sometimes I'm also spread thin. Before I came here, I was at a training which is on this thing called shadow work, and it's like inner child work. And I thought I'd done that work until I met Bazungu, who have 20 years in this work. And I was like, I have so much things to work through, right? And I sat there just feeling like a fraud. Like I invited all these people here, and I'm coming in as the master of healing. And there I was just weeping about God knows what, really, right? It's okay. It's okay. We do what we can, when we can, in the best way that we can. So what is the importance of mindfulness? Mindfulness involves being present in the moment without judging. Like, how are you feeling? What's going on inside of you right now? Let me give you a little history on why this is important. So, before 1925, the main killer diseases were infectious diseases. Kwashiorkor, polio, remember the 7 killer diseases? Diphtheria, who remembered that one? But, so then the medical model was a biomedical model. And then after that, the World Health Organization changed the health model to a biopsychosocial model. Why? Because the killer diseases changed to lifestyle, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, neurological disorders. It's like all of our mothers in total have high blood pressure. Why?
Stress. When we hear the word stress in our daily lives, what do we think? Where's the microphone? Where's the other microphone? But you can project your voices, I can hear you. What do you think when you hear the word stress? Especially men, yes?
Expectations.
Right.
And, sorry, thank you. So many people are struggling with expectations. They want to meet expectations from within themselves, knowing I have this capability, but I'm not really doing what I think I can do. And also the society around them just also putting that pressure on them, like, hey, you're supposed to be this by this time, in this timeline, and if you do not do that, then you're viewed as a failure. And that constant pressure of, am I doing enough? Am I doing the best that I should be doing? Are people seeing what I am doing? I think probably the things that I feel say are what I am doing. Are they valid enough? Can I present this as, something that people should see the way I see as making me busy? So I think when people are talking about stress, it is that whole pressure of trying to fulfill expectations from within and without.
Right. Who here doesn't feel like they're burdened by expectations? I'll take it that everybody here is burdened by expectations, right? Muli bubinyo. Gemotherapy. Anybody else? Anybody else? What does stress mean to you? I'd like to hear something from the men, because men are kind of conditioned to look at stress as weakness.
I'm here.
Yes.
There's a guy here.
Somebody has a microphone? Yes.
I'm standing.
Yeah.
To me, I feel...
Guys, please, let's hold space and hear each other out.
So, I think stress goes beyond expectations.
Yeah.
It comes to a lot of unanswered questions. You get questions that do not have answers. Like, you hear there's this story, and then there's no answer, then there's the other story, and then there's a blame. To me, I relate it so much into a lot of blames that is put to you, and yet sometimes you're innocent, and yet you're put in the corner that you should believe at a certain point that you're on the wrong, There was a time I was stressed. I took myself to Butabika. I went to a department, I don't remember, but it was labeled Occupational Health Counseling Section. I found a lady there. She was attending to her clients there. So
please witness yourself as you listen to someone attempting to be vulnerable and your reactions and your feelings around that.
So when I entered her office, she said, "Who has referred you here?" I said, "I've brought myself." She said, "Why?" I said, "I feel like something's not right with me, and if I don't pay attention to my mental health, I might end up being your client here." She said, "Okay, can you go back to, what is that department, OPD? And then they give you a cheat, you come back here." I said, "I am not going back there until you attend to me." So literally what I wanted to know is if there's a machine to check, if there's something, then they told me in Butabika there's no machine to check if you're running mad or you're what, but she told me you have to watch how you conceive, how you receive, how you try to solve stress disorders in your life. Yeah. And most of those people there, it is as a result of stress that they end up being clients in Butabika. That's what I learned.
What's your names?
My name is Omuya Noah.
Noah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Noah, for that. We need so much more of you in this world, because that's just for some reason not allowed, and yet it is a total human experience to struggle with stress. And if I dare say so myself, remarkable that you would get yourself, even me who is a clinician of mental health,
who even worked in Butabika Hospital, to mug myself to Butabika Hospital. I still struggle with stigma, right? And I've suffered depression. I've suffered these things. But for me to take myself to Butabika, I'm thinking, people are going to think really. Yeah? There is nobody that is immune to this stuff. There is nobody. I should know. There is nobody. 18 years of this practice. And I can tell you I struggled with clinical depression. Like, even I didn't know. It took me like 7 months to realize I haven't gotten out of bed and I can't seem to do much. And I'm really fantasizing about death. And you would think that something horrible had happened. No. Some people are more prone to it. Yeah? Like just your chemical imbalance. Some people it's a life thing that happens. Some people it's chronic stress. Some people it's these persistent feelings of failure and nothingness and not good enoughness. Some people have a terrible support system or none.
Support system is the point.
Some people are in shocking relationships. You wouldn't believe it if you had the things that they're dealing with on a daily basis. Some people were not parented well. Okay? It is so important for us to be able to hold space. But this came from a question of me asking you, what stress means to you? And I was trying to make you understand why professions like mine came into the health field. Okay? Stress is a very normal human experience. It happens to every one of us. Now, for Aliman, what stress really means is that your brain detects a threat and then the brain puts you into fight and flight mode so that you can fight the threat or flight, run away from the threat. They've now added freeze, so now it's fight, freeze, or flight, right? So what does that literally mean? So Aliman, his main threat was dying while he was hunting, yeah? Like he has to go and hunt for his family, the woman is foraging, the man goes to hunt. The brain is saying you might die. So it puts him in fight and flight. What that means is that the brain picks resources from your higher brain centers, from your digestive system, from your immune system, from your muscular system, and puts those resources in your heart rate and in your muscles. So that, you know, like, how many people here have ever worked out in the gym, like had a good workout or a good run? Aha. You know that moment where you feel like if you go one more second, you might faint. In that moment, what would you do if you saw a snake right there coming at you? You run, right? So where did that energy come from? That's the fight and flight mode. Do you understand? Now, it worked for Aliman, and fight and flight is not bad. We need it to work. Some of us work rather amazingly under pressure or at last minute. Yeah? But the problem with us is chronic stress. So Aliman would go, either the animal would kill him and the stress would end there, or he would kill it and bring it home for his family. Then for 2 weeks, it's all good. Now, the brain does not know the difference between a lion charging at you and a deadline, and brokenness, and rejection, and whatever. Tell me some of your triggers. Men, we know it's brokenness. We know. Triggers. What triggers you? Do you know your triggers? Guys, I thought non-millennials are more self-aware. Huh? Being ghosted. I miss those days when being ghosted was a thing. It's a trigger. Like you send someone a message and then they don't respond, and then what's going on in your mind? You're not a priority, they don't care, we need to explore that together sometime. But The brain does not know the difference. So what the brain does when you see a snake coming at you, the amount of fear you feel, which means cortisol has been unleashed into your brain. It's a dangerous hormone. Most importantly, it suppresses your immune system. Yeah? So basically, with all of these different stresses that you have, for the brain, it's a lion charging at you daily, maybe 5 times a day. So your brain, instead of focusing on the things you should be focusing on, is in fight and freeze and flight all the time. The freeze is where procrastinators are. You can't get yourself to move. It's because the brain is basically like, where are you going? There's a snake on this side and there's a lion on this side. Where are you going? So you're just there. You're stuck in the desert without knowing which direction to take, right? That's the very crux of anxiety. So if the brain is working overtime like that, that means it's constantly getting resources from your higher brain centers. Maybe you find yourself forgetting small things all the time. I put my phone here. Wait, I put my keys. Yeah? It's withdrawing resources from your digestive system. Random diarrhea for no reason. Or constipation. Right? Or just food issues. Your gut is just so sensitive. Your immune system, most importantly. Let's say you have diabetes maybe in your family, or our families, we all have different things, illnesses, right? Some of us are more prone. The human body is built to fight any illness, even a broken bone, on its own, given the right environment. What is the right environment? The environment of chronic stress is the worst environment there is. That's the worst environment, which is what every adult today is really dealing with, right? And the solutions are very basic, and they work, but we don't do them. We all know them. I can't stand here and tell you, go and exercise. Sleep early. Yeah? That stuff works, guys. But why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Yeah? Why are you not consistent? It's over here. It's over here. Unless you're telling me I have one leg given, then I'll tell you other workouts to do. Right? The brain is willing, but the body. We cannot escape stress. What we can do is to fix our perception about it. I see up to 5 people every single day of my life for the last 18 years. You are not alone in your suffering. You're not. You're not. A lot of us women especially were kind of conditioned to pick up this victim place.